Hi, this is Mike Dunfee with the Mike Dunfee Group and MD Property Management, based here in Long Beach, California. Today's topic is screening for quality tenants. Look, part of being a landlord is you run certain tenant risk. Proper screening greatly reduces that risk. My first piece of advice is set yourself up for success. Price your property right. An overpriced property is only going to get tenants who got turned down everywhere else. Also, run an accurate ad with a good description and give the full rent amount. That helps screen out a lot of people who can't afford it right from the get-go. Also, the cleaner your property, the better. If your property is a mess, the tenants you get will be a mess. I want you to set your standards ahead of time and communicate them clearly to the prospective tenant. If your income requirement is 3 times the monthly rent, then let them know that up front. Let them know up front you expect good credit. FICO is a great predictor of their ability to pay rent on time. If you are open to co-signers, which can be a great tool, have that discussion right then and there. Also, let them know you're going to check for criminal records, you're going to check for adequate cash reserves, you expect no evictions on their record, and if it's a kind of property that where Section 8 applies, let them know up front if that's something that you don't do or you do. Also, now it's time to make the application. I want you to make sure you use a vetted application, something by, not just off the internet, but something by your local real estate board or the apartment association. They both have great forms that have been vetted by their attorneys, and they, very importantly, have a space for the tenant to sign and give you permission to run their credit. You should never run credit unless you have signed written permission to do so. When you're running the credit, make sure and run the full credit. Don't just do the discount version. Make sure you're checking for evictions and make sure you're checking for criminal history as well, criminal record. Also, very important, run it yourself. Don't fall for someone not wanting their credit run and handing you a pre-printed version of their credit report. You don't know if that's really their credit report. There's a lot of opportunity for scam artists to change stuff like that today. Also, get proof of their income. Pay stubs or maybe tax returns or something like that. You're looking for evidence to make sure that what they're telling you rings true. Also, check for their cash reserves. They say they have so much money in the bank or in savings. Do they have an investment account? Do they have money in the bank? Check for their assets. Also, be sure and get a photo ID. You want to make sure that great application you just received was from the person that handed it to you. Make sure also and check their references. That's an easy corner to cut. You may think, who's going to tell me anything? It's just their friends. Oh, it's where their former landlord's not going to say anything. But you know what? If you might find out they're bad phone numbers, you might find out that people don't know who you're talking about and that sort of thing. So that will help you complete the full picture. And really, that's the next step: is make sure that the full story makes sense. I don't want you to get conned or scammed. I don't want you to drive by any red flags. If something doesn't seem right, there's a good chance it's not right. And then an example of a red flag may be if someone wants to pay you 3 months or 6 months rent in advance. I find that personally to be a red flag. If you're doing this directly as a landlord without the help of a property management company, that's fine, but just make sure that many con artists might choose to go directly to a landlord trying to find maybe an easier mark. So if I'm a landlord doing it directly, I would be extra careful to check just more carefully and be a little cautious. And also, desperate landlords tend to make bad tenant decisions. So if you feel yourself a little desperate, be extra careful in whatever tenant decision you're making and don't panic. Because the only thing more expensive than vacancy is a bad tenant. If you have a question about this topic or any other real estate related matter, please consider the Mike Dunfee Group your resource. Thank you.